We're in Kitwe. Our interviews are confirmed, our batteries are charged. We have a focus statement and a list of questions. Now the real work begins. Before the person you're interviewing says their first word, get ready. Plug in your microphone, put on your headphones, turn on your recorder. Now listen to the sound of the place you're recording. Do you need to move out of the wind or away from kids playing basketball on the court nearby? Fix what you can. The problems you solve now will save you hours of audio editing later. Before we get to the interview itself, here are 3 technical things to remember. First, slate your tape. Say the date, the location, and who you're interviewing into your recorder. When you have lots of interviews to sift through later, this habit will save you hours of time. Second, record room tone. Before you leave any interview, be sure to record 30 seconds to a minute of room tone, the sound of the place where you recorded the interview. Third, have your recorder on when you arrive and don't turn it off until you've walked away. People often say the best thing when they think the interview is over. Keep rolling so you don't miss it. Okay, now onto the interview itself. By the time you sit down with someone, you know a lot about your story. You know why you're talking to this person, and you have a rough idea of what they might say. But here's the thing. Ask questions you already know the answer to. I know that sounds backwards, but knowing something happened and having it on tape are different things. If your source tells you something remarkable in a pre-interview and you don't ask them to say it again on the record, you don't have it. And you'll have a hard time including it in your story. Another thing, people often skip over the details, and we love details. We love anecdotes. Ask them to go back and start from the beginning. Ask them to walk you through their memories. Ask them to describe what they saw, who said what, and what they did next. And then listen. Really listen. Not just for when to ask your next question, but to what they're saying. Because the follow-up that unlocks an interview is almost never the question you had planned. It's the one that responds to something they just said that surprised you. There are 3 questions we rely on. And then what happened? How did that make you feel? And what did you make of that? They sound simple, but they open doors. Don't be afraid to ask questions more than once. If the first answer was vague, you might summarize what you heard and ask, did I get that right? Sometimes, the second or third version of an answer is clearer. The first answer is often what someone thinks they're supposed to say. Eventually, they might say what they actually think. Speaking of which, in almost every good interview, a shift happens. A moment where the person stops performing and starts feeling, when their voice changes or they pause, or they say something that even surprises them. Your job when that happens is to wait. Don't fill the silence, just wait. Let the moment breathe. People will jump in, and what they say in that gap is often the best tape. One more interviewing tip. Ask the person to describe what they're seeing. Can you describe where we are? What do you see? These answers could help your listeners see what you're seeing. So, how do you know when you have what you need? Either in the interview or after all your field reporting is done? Here's my honest answer. You don't always know, but there are signs. You have a sequence of things that happened for your character and for the overall story. You have moments of real feeling from your interviews. You have specific details, names, places, and sensory descriptions, not just general statements. And you have something that surprised you. If you have all 4 of those things on tape, you probably have what you need. And if you're not sure, ask more questions. The worst thing that can happen is that you get tape you don't use. The alternative is arriving at the edit with a hole in your story that you cannot fill. You've done the interviews, you've recorded the scenes, you've got hours of tape and a notebook full of moments you can't wait to use. One last bit of housekeeping. We strongly recommend you name and upload your files to the cloud and a backup hard drive to keep your work organized and protected. That includes your photos and videos. Trust us, you'll want to do this at the end of each reporting day while it's fresh in your mind, even when you're wiped out. This is another step that will save you hours of work later. Now comes what I think of as the hardest part, turning all of that into a story. That's next.